Hello, everybody. Jim Malone here, coming to you live on Dallas Trading Floor. It is a Tuesday, I believe, and the market was selling off this morning. I got shaken out of a lot of positions, but because I had the stop losses set, I got to take some profits, which was nice. Kind of got some interesting, some interesting stuff. So. Without further ado, let's get into some of the slides here. Basically, the market has kind of recovered a little bit since the sell-off this morning. It seems as if it's moved back up again. The S&P is moved up. The Dow Jones is up, and that seems to be pretty good. Tesla sold off. It bounced off the 21-day line. I definitely had to lighten up on my positions. I definitely had some things that happened there. But I hopefully it'll firm up a little bit, and we'll be back. We'll be back to where we were. So, it's I definitely lightened up on some of my positions, and so that's definitely been the case there. Just wanted to kind of give you a kind of an interesting feature today. I was looking through some of the stocks, and right now some of the cannabis stocks are kind of running really, really strong. But I also wanted to take a look at some highly rated stocks that that kind of come on my radar that you might want to take a look at. And here's the list right now. Basically, what this is that I was trying to find really good stocks out there, basically, for less than, for definitely a lower price, than you normally would pay. So I just kind of wanted to put this out there. Let me see if I can there we go. So you can see it a little bit better. Sometimes it's kind of hard to see on the screen. So let me see if I can zoom in. Yeah. Well, okay. Well, let's see if I can zoom in a little bit here on that. Let's move up here. Yeah, let's go back there. All right. Well, maybe it could be a little bit more. There we go. I think this is easier to see on the screen. Just wanted to show you some kind of highly rated stocks. Now one that I did buy today called Hex, HEXO. And it's been it's moved up very strongly, and that's backed off a little bit. But it is a Canadian cannabis stock, and the interesting thing about them is they make they make some very interesting products. Cannabis peppermint oil, whatever that is, and some other products like that, and they seem to be doing quite well. All the cannabis stocks seem to be doing well. Now, I have in the past recommended MJ, which is the ETF that kind of covers everything. It seems like everything in that space is moving up, but this one is particularly particularly highly rated. It's up quite a bit today. 65 cents on a $10 stock is a lot. So I definitely went in with one full position in one of my accounts. We'll see how it does. I've set the stop loss. We'll see if it violates that. But right now, that's where it's going here. So I want to kind of run down the list of these highly rated stocks. One of them is a interesting company. It's a Luxembourg-based company. It's AGRO. Might want to take a look at that one. Also, there's another interesting one. This is a Taiwanese company that is in the semiconductor space, and this is actually very highly rated. ASX is the symbol on it. There's a Fluent, FLNT, GNSS, HROW, HEXO. That's the one I talked about. And of course, Ribbon Communications. You probably heard of Ribbon before. I've had that one as a stock. And then one last one. It's ZDGE. Now, here's what I'll do. I'm going to send out this list and kind of just kind of a little crib sheet on it tonight. But you got to be on the Action Trade Alerts to get it, because you got to subscribe to that. And so the easiest way to do it is to go, if you're looking on TikTok, super easy. All you have to do is go to the profile, click the link, and then you'll be taken to a page. And then I just need first and last name and email address, and we'll send it right out to you. It's just a little bit of list on these essentially 6 well, no, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 stocks that are very highly rated, and also are, looks like they may be moving now. Today, only Exo is really moving, and the Taiwanese company that does the form factors. But anyways, I will send it out to you on the action trade alerts tonight, but you got to be on the list. And if you're looking online, if you're looking on YouTube, just go to www. If you're not already on the list, if you're not already subscribed to the action trade alerts, just go to www Dallas Trading Floor, and there's a subscribe box. Just put first and last name. And I'll give you a little bit more information on this. But for right now, just kind of, if you have a pencil and you want to write these down, you might want to take a look at these. Some of these are good, some of these are good stocks. So basically, oops, there we go. All right. Okay. ASX, FLNT, GNSS, HROW, HEXO, that's the one I talked about, RBBN, that's Ribbon Communication, and ZDGE, to kind of give you a look-see on that. Okay, so I kind of want to show you sort of, how this one is stacking up. So let's see. Oh, there we go. Give me a little bit. There we go. I can. the one I did buy today, it's got a relative strength of a composite rating of 95, which is quite good, considering it's in the top 5%. It's being accumulated very strongly. This is one of the things I like. The SMR rating is not so hot. It's only a D. It is up today about 7%, which is only 67 cents. I went in and I bought about 250 shares today as a pilot buy for myself, and it's got a group relative strength rating that's pretty high. So no guarantees here, but it's kind of a good one possibly to look at. HEXO. So I'd like to go through what I am currently holding in all my portfolios. I have a number of portfolios, but I also have the small portfolio, and then I have some other ones as well. I'm in Blink charging. It's down significantly today. I will probably, I was stopped out of one of my positions. Of course, Tesla's off today. Palantir is off. DraftKings is up, and I have that one. Fuel Cell Energy, that's off a tad. AI, I bought that one yesterday. It's off significantly, $6.32. So hopefully that'll come back. And HEXO. So those are what I have been trading as of late. So thank you for that. All right, let's get to some of the questions, and thanks for waiting. Let's see. Okay. Oh, it's a question on Workhorse. Okay, so this is a question really about the potential short squeeze here. So let's see if let's kind of get an idea here with this. So let me go ahead and put that in. There we go. And there we go. Trying to get all these windows correct here. Oh, goodness gracious. Not letting me. There we go. Okay. There we go. So let me. Oh, goodness. Not being that cooperative today. All right. So let me pull that up on the screen and move it over there. Okay. So this is for Workhorse, WKHS, symbol on that. And let's look at this, Jay. WKHS. There we go. All right. All right. So question basically is has 30.78% short interest. How does it play in a direction in a decision to hold, buy, or sell? My cost is $18.97. Interesting. Okay. Well, you've came in a very good place. Let's kind of, let's just sort of zoom in a little bit and just sort of analyze this one really quick. That it does, that is, that there is a fair amount of short interest. That means that, that people are shorting it. Now you're in right here, basically at what, 1897, and that's really, really good. Boy, this is a very good place. So you're right here. It's a little extended above that. The buy point on this consolidation is right about, oops, come on, there we go, is 2290. So you're well below that. So you're in a good place here. Here's what I would do. It looks as if it's just pulled right back to the 21-day line. So you're in a pretty good shape here, as far as I can see. Let me look at the daily chart. Okay. Wow. So you're in a very good price. 1897. That's stellar. Yeah, you're in a great place. You're right about there. Okay, so that's good. So we're well above your price. Here's the thing. I don't think really there's anything you need to do. I mean, if it did pull back, it looks as if it's pulling back to the 21-day line. Now, here's the thing. You're almost at the 200-day. Here's the thing. I would set, just as a precaution, at about 1785. I'd set a stop loss at about 1785. That's what I would do. But I think you're in it at a really, really good price. So my advice, for what it's worth, actually, would be to, set a stop loss under the 200-day moving average at 1785. And that's just so if it just gets totally crazy and it pulls back on you, that you won't be be in any difficulty there. But basically what I would do is set that stop loss basically there, because that way you're going to protect, you're going to be at your best place to protect the your position. I wouldn't do it any longer than that, because I do think it looks as if it's sort of there may be a short squeeze. Now here's the thing. If there's a short squeeze based on the based on people shorting it, it's gonna move up very quickly as a climax. If that is the case and you see that, then you want to start pushing your stop loss up. But right now, until that's happening, you're okay with the stop loss down on the 200-day line. But as soon as you start to see a climax top, and this isn't a climax top yet, you want to just start pushing up your stop losses. And then when it pulls back, if there is a short squeeze, you'll be sold out at a good price. So that's what I would do, and that's a 200-day, not a 2,000-day. Goodness gracious! Got to get my. There we go. That's the 200-day. There we go. 200-day moving average, not the 2,000-day. Boy, that would be a lot. So no, it's the 200-day moving average. So set the stop loss under the 200-day moving average. If you get a situation where if you get a situation where it starts to do a climax top, then you want to go ahead and start pushing up that stop loss. But right now, I think you're good. Just ride here's the thing. When you've got a winner like that, just let it ride. Just let's let it ride. Now, the rule I typically use is the O'Neill rule, and that is basically if the stock goes up more than 20% in less than 8 weeks, you want to hold that puppy and move that stop loss up. Now, of course, if you've held it for longer than 8 weeks, which I don't think you have, because based on this chart, I don't believe you have. You got it in a really, really good place at 8, in the 18th. So you got it just beautifully, and you rode that on up very, very nicely. Here's the thing: if you start to see a climax top, then you want to start pushing that stop loss up, so you can capture the profit. But let it roll, let it ride, because a lot of the people that have been shorting have been really sorry in this market. Now we're still in a confirmed uptrend, so it's kind of a dangerous place to short right now. You want to be long in stocks, but one thing I will just absolutely put out there, according to the indexes and everything I'm looking at, the market in general is very extended. That's one of the reasons why I sold, and I got more into cash this morning. I may have sold a little bit too early, but I do think that we are going to see a little bit of a correction. It's not it's just it can't go up. Until today, it's gone up every day for 7 days, and that just is very, very rare. So there's going to be a little bit of a correction, but in this case with Workhorse, I do believe that you want to let your profits run. And if you do see a climax top, and that's kind of where it looks like it's just going to the moon. If you see a going to the moon pattern, that's a climax top. You want to start pushing your stop loss up. Eventually, it'll pull back, and you'll be sold out at a good price. So, congrats. That's a great that's a great little run, and that you've done very well. All right, let's check a look at DDS to see what the situation is with DDS, and that's Dillard's. My girlfriend loves to shop there. I'm not so much of a shopper myself. I wish I were better at that. That's one of the things I got to work on, especially around Valentine's Day. I've got to become a better shopper than I am. I don't know what it is. I don't know what it is about going to the store. I just, it's just, to me, it's just, oh goodness, I'm not really into it. But hey, to each his own. Now, okay, come on. Let me just see if that will. There we go. It wasn't reacting right there. Let's push it in a little bit. Take a look at Dillard's. All right. First of all, we'll start with the weekly chart here, and kind of look to see sort of what's going on. Well, look at that. It's moved up and then it's moved back. It's got a very strong relative strength at 89. This is not one of my particularly favorite groups. It does have a good checklist though, 6 out of 9, so that's not bad. The it's retail department stores, the ones that are left, are doing pretty good at 9. Can't figure that out totally. Definitely has a little bit. It's a little bit of a declining number of funds that are in it. So that's not necessarily the best, but it's definitely moved up a lot. This sector has moved up a lot in terms of its in terms of everything. So let me kind of see if I can let's get the well, I thought I saw it. I'm trying to see the little wrench here that will show us, but let's kind of take a look. 36% funds in it. We had this. Okay, so this is a sort of a short squeeze. Yeah, it's being short squeezed too. Look at that. Interestingly enough, 89 relative strength. I think this is okay. I mean, it definitely meets my criteria. I mean, it's 89, 90 is my minimum. The buy point, it's pretty far extended off of its buy point. The buy point in a cup cup without handle is 61.50. So I don't know. I don't know about this. Earnings are coming up. Is it a good entry now? I don't like to enter a stock prior to earnings, especially like this, especially with retail, because it can make it drop, but it has strong cash flow. I mean, so boy, this is an interesting one. When are earnings? Earnings are basically in just about a week. Here's the thing: I would wait on this one. I would wait on this one and watch list this. I wouldn't buy this before earnings. I just wouldn't buy this before earnings, because even if the earnings are good, there's a high likelihood that this will pull back. That's just sort of the name of the game. So I really think, I just really think you have to wait a little bit for earnings. I think that if you, uh, if you don't, then you could be very, very sorry. You seem to be fat fingering everything today. There you go. But here's the thing: I would wait for earnings on this one on Dillard's. I just would. I think with Dillard's, I think you got to wait for earnings, and just it's looking it's behaving remarkably well. I mean, I'm actually really amazed at this. But this is sort of a blow off top. This is a climax top here, which I don't like to see. Let's look at the. So here's the thing. Yeah, this has got a classic climax top. See, this is what happens when there's shorts that are having to get covered. And of course, there was a big Easter egg there. That means that a lot of people covered their shorts at 128. So here's the thing. The reason this is getting pushed up is because there are shorts that are getting taken out of this. It does look like it's pulling back to the 21-day line. It may move higher than that, but I just think you got to wait for earnings on this one. I really think you do. I just think it's just going to be too difficult. I think it's just too difficult. I think you got to wait for earnings on it. That's what I would recommend doing. And then around the 25th. So that's probably the best thing with Dillard's. Let's see. I'm going to go in here, and I thank you for everyone waiting on TikTok. So let's see if we have any questions from TikTok. Follow the host. Okay, thank you for following me. Appreciate it. Oh, Tesla. Okay. Now, a big sell-off on Tesla today. Can't quite understand it. A lot of things I can't quite understand. I was shaken out of position myself. Here I closed 2 option contracts. And then of course it immediately changed direction. But let's take a look at Tesla right now. Just to look. I'm going to look on the daily chart, and I'm going to kind of show you what happened. There was a violation of the 21-day line, and that's kind of where I got kind of moved out of it here too. So this is the daily chart here. As you can see, we're definitely below this 21-day line. Now it's done this before, where it's bounced off the 21-day line. It's currently at 802. I'm going to see what happens if this thing reverses. I sold basically at 820 as it was moving down this morning, and I've got a buy order in. Basically, I've got a buy order in at about right at about the 21-day line, which currently is at the 21-day line. So if this reverses and goes higher and it moves above the 21-day line, I'll be back in. I still have one full position, but there was a lot of selling today, and I kind of want to show you the 60-minute chart. As you can see, it just kind of this morning it just kind of dropped tremendously. Don't quite know. Just probably just people selling off their positions. As you can see, there's this extremely large volume spike here. I don't quite know what that's from. But it definitely, as you can see here, there is support right at about 800, as it's been like for a long time. What I'm planning on doing, of course, is if it moves, if it reverses back above, and the 21-day line is right about here. Actually, it's right about here. Moves above 830, then I'll probably be back in it. But it looks as if there's a floor here at about 800. The algos came in and did that. So I was at I was out of the my positions very, very quickly. One of the great things about, of course, about a stock like Tesla is that you've got so much liquidity that it's easy to get in and out of positions, unlike some of the other stocks. So can't really tell you what's going to happen, but I'm waiting for a reversal. I think in the past it's bounced at that 21-day line, and currently the 21-day line is right about 800. So if it I sold out at 820 today. It pulled back. If it reverses, I'll probably be back in, because I do long term I really am a Tesla bull. So that's kind of my story on that today. So let's take a look. Thanks, Kyle. Let's look at SNPR. Interesting. I want to see that one. SNPR. And oh, okay, this is okay. This is the blank check company. I don't know. I know this is related somehow. Hopefully, there we go. Well, yeah, okay. This is somehow related to I don't know what. I don't know what they're buying. This is the big problem here, I know that this has become very fashionable way to buy, to buy, but it's a mystery to me a little bit because I just don't know what they're buying, and it's come out of the gate really strong, but I just couldn't I can't recommend buying it. Let's kind of look at the 60-minute chart. Okay, yeah, it's just kind of all over the place. Here's the thing. I just think with this, I just think with Snapper, you just kind of wait and I think it's just you just got to wait on this one. I just think you got to wait, wait until um, they go public. No, I don't see any other way you can do that. So wait until they go public. I don't think yeah, I just don't know what they're buying. That's the problem. It looks great, but I want to make sure that there's actually a company there before I buy anything. Right now, it's just a blind pool. It's just money that's waiting to make some kind of acquisition. So there you go. Okay, buy point for fuel cell. You know what? I was kicked out of most of my fuel cell positions this morning. That's what happened to me. But let's see if we can get a decent buy point here for fuel cells. So let's pull it back, and I'm going to go over to. First, I'm going to start with the weekly chart to see if there's anything that we can kind of look at. This is a really good sector in the economy currently. Well, let's pull it up there. Okay, so this is kind of show you the chart here. There's not really any place to buy this one. It's just kind of gone straight up, as you can see. This is the weekly chart. So if we go to the daily chart, and I have been in this one. I was shaken out though, to be honest. I did take profit. Yeah, there you go. Okay, so it's just been kind of moving right up the it's been sort of moving right up the 10-day line here. Let's see if there we go. There we go. It's been kind of moving up that 10-day line, as you can see. There's the 10-day line. And it's just pulled back to that. So really, it's forming a channel here. And it was at the top of the channel. So it's going to pull back to the bottom, and then it probably will reverse higher. There really isn't a good place to buy this one. But what you can do is look at the 21-day line, and that maybe give us an idea of a place that we can go on that. So let me pull that back there. There we go. So there really isn't a buy point on this one because there's really no base on it, but you possibly could buy it. It's 23.32. It's 20. You could, if you bought it here. This is if you bought it here, it would be you might get a pullback. You might get a very strong pullback. Really, what you're going to wait. The thing to do is to wait for a reversal on this. I do believe this is going to reverse, and it's going to reverse higher. And I do think that you could buy this at about $27. So here's what I would do. Well, $27.50. I think you got to wait for. What I would do on this one, and this isn't really a buy point. This isn't really a buy point on this one. I think what you got to do on this is set a stop loss, a buy stop limit. So set a buy stop limit order for 17.50. Okay, and there we go. Okay, and see, the reason I would recommend this, there we go. Oh, no, that's the wrong one. Okay, there we go. If you set a buy stop limit order for that, basically what that's going to do, let's go in here a little bit more on the daily chart. Yep, there we go. Okay. So what it's going to do, if you set a buy stop limit order for there, is this is about my line. This is about 1750 here. If this thing reverses, it pulls down and then reverses up. You buy it as it's moving moving up with the buy stop limit order. So that's kind of what I would recommend. Did you? For some reason, I'm not. Yeah, let me pull it over. There we go. didn't have it quite right on the screen. This is about 1750 here, and as it moves above there, they want to buy it. Now it's pulling back today, but let's see if there's a reversal. And if it's a reversal, you want to buy it on the reversal. And the way you do that is with the buy stop limit order. And I think you could set that anywhere from about 725 to about 750, and it would trigger as it's moving higher. So that's how I would recommend doing it. There's no real buy point on there's no real buy point on the on F cell fuel cell right now. It's just moving right up that 21-day line. So that's what I would recommend. Buy stop limit order if you want to get it. And I had it. I still have it. I had it in 3 of my portfolios. I got stopped out of all of them. I did make profit though because I was moving my stop loss up. But I'm going to wait for another entry on it. So buy stop limit order at about 1725 to about 1750. I think you'd be pretty good with that. Thanks for that question. Appreciate it. What are your thoughts on MP? So let's take a look at MP really quickly here. And let's see if I can get you some good information on that. MP. Is that Marathon? I'm not sure if that's Marathon Petroleum. Hold on. Oh, MP Materials. Oh, it's a mining company. Interesting. Okay. Well, mining is moving quite nicely actually. As we speak, that's a good area. It's very highly rated. Wow, look at that. I haven't been in the mining as much, but it's very near. It's very near a consolidation base at 40.74. So that is actually pretty good. Let me see if I can kind of zoom in on it, and let's look at the weekly chart first. There's this interesting buy point. Yeah, right here on a consolidation at 40.74. So, I'm just going to put that in there. Basically, so there's a buy point at $40.74. And that is very interesting to me because many times when that happens, that's going to show you something. So let's kind of analyze it a little bit more. I'm just going to zoom in on it a little bit and kind of just take a look and see if that is indeed a good buy point. Yes. Okay. It's on this small consolidation base here. And the buy point is right here, of course. It's a little dotted line, as you can see. There we go. And that's about 40.84. So basically, actually, believe it or not, this is buyable. This is buyable as it moves above 40.84, 40.74, excuse me. So where you want to buy this is basically at the buy point plus 10 cents or 40.84. That's really why you want to buy it. You want to, and the way you can do that, if you want to get into this one, this does look pretty good, I have to admit. Now let's just kind of look. I just want to kind of look at all the checklists. It's got a 66, so that's very good. The ownership is, it's moving right up there with the fund, so that's really good. Let's look at the industries. Wow, it's 6. That is really terrific. I think this one may be a winner. As we see a rotation into some of these more cyclical stocks like mining, this, out of some of the techs, maybe this would work. So here's how you could buy this one. Here's how you could buy this. You could basically buy it with a buy stop limit order for the buy point, which of course is $40.74 plus 10 cents, or $40.84. So that's where you'd want to set it if you wanted to go ahead and buy that. So here's how you could buy this one. It's very viable, by the way. This one's exciting because it is very viable. Now I'm on the weekly chart here. I'm going to go to the daily chart to kind of put it all together here. But yeah, here we go. So you can see this. Let me just zoom in just a tad more. There we go. Okay, so hopefully you can see it there on the screen. Oops. There we go. All right. So as you can see, this is the buy point here. This is the buy point here at at $40.74. All right. So where you want to buy it is as it moves beyond this buy point, up about right here. Okay, and you can do that. This is almost a cup. This is what they call a consolidation base. It's not. It is definitely a base. As it moves above this 40.74, that's where you want to buy it. So $40.74 plus 10 cents gives us $40.84. So that's a great question. Thank you very much for that question. And it looks like a very good opportunity. It looks like a very good opportunity on that. So interesting. So MP, buy stop limit order at 40.84. So thank you very much. That's a nicely rated stock. Let's take a look on Rainbow Films. Very cool. Okay. On CRM, of course, everybody knows this one is Salesforce. It's kind of been a laggard as of late, but CRM. There's the CRM tower. There's the Salesforce.com tower in San Francisco. I used to live there, and it's right next to a building called Millennium Tower, which is actually leaning, and they're going to probably have to tear it down. It's like they spent just I don't know how much money. It was a tremendous amount of money, and they've got a leaning tower of pizza, whatever. And that's in San Francisco. But the Salesforce Tower is one of the tallest towers, and it is leaning a little bit. I think it's leaning a little bit. So, well, not such a great thing. Anyways, here is the chart for Salesforce, and we're looking at the weekly chart. And here's the thing: there is a trend line that looks like we have a trend reversal. Let's go to the daily chart to see if we have a trend reversal. Yeah, well, we do, I think. Okay, so here's how you would draw the trend line. By the way, everybody at home, you can do this. It's probably best to do this with the weekly chart, but because it's hard to see here. What I'm going to do is I'm going to go zoom in on. I'm going to zoom in a little bit, and I'm going to show you how to kind of draw this trend line. I'm sure that you may know how to do this, but I want to kind of show you. This is a way that you can set an alert, so that you always want to try to buy as the stock is moving higher. So here's the thing: that if you draw a trend line, and this would be approximately the trend line here. There we go. Oops, there we go. Okay, so that's approximately the trend line. As you can see, it broke the trend basically about 2 weeks ago. Okay, and then it moved. It's gradually moved up above the 21-day, and then now the 10-day has moved above the 21-day. That's very good. The 40-day is now below the 21-day and the 200-day. So this is the correct alignment of the trend lines. This is the 200-day here. Oops. This is the 200-day here. This is the 50-day. Goodness gracious. 21-day and then 10-day. Now, if this bounces off the 10-day and it continues up, that's where you want to buy it. Right now, you don't want to buy it because it's pulling back. But if this thing pulls higher on good volume, then I think you might have something. Now, there are some red flags here. It's got a very, very low relative strength. Now, why does it have, why would a great stock like that have a low relative strength? Well, over a period of time, it hasn't been, it for a while hasn't been a leader. And you can see that it may be coming into a time when it's a leader once more. But there's a few other things I want to check before we look at it. The checklist is good, 77, so that's good. And of course, the fund ownership is stellar because just about everybody owns this. 35, 31 funds are in it. The industry and sector, it's not quite as good as it was at 69. It's still good. There's 197 sectors, and of course, you want to be in the top 60% of those to get the best bang for your buck. So it definitely meets that category. So basically, and you have some of the very best funds in there. Now, one of the ones that you want to always look for is this Fidelity Contra Fund, and they have almost 3.5%. They have a little bit more than 3.5% of this. So very strongly invested in this. So the question is, can you buy it? Well, I do think it is. I do think it is reversing. And if you want to come in, I wouldn't come in with a very large position, but possibly, now that it's moved up, it possibly could go in with a half position. You've got to understand, though, we're well below the buy point. The buy point on the consolidation is way up here at 270, and we're at 236. So, and it's pulled back a little bit. So here's the thing. I really think, you could do an early buy on this one, but I really would. I think the market is topping out right now. That's kind of what I'm feeling. It's looking at the charts and that kind of thing. So basically, what I would do right now is I would watch this one. And the reason is because it just, I just think that, I think it needs to show a little bit more conviction on this. It needs to show a little bit more conviction, but as it's pulling above this trend line, I think that, it's getting into a viable situation. But right now, I think you got to watch this one. And if you're already in it, that's a great thing. But as a new buy, I think you got to be very careful. And then, if it moves up closer to that 270 range, then I think, you can go. But the buy point on it is basically 270, and it's currently at 236. So I kind of want to see some more strength before I buy that. That's why I would recommend with CRM to watch list it. All right. T. Oh, let's look at T. Okay. Now, telephone at one time, this is AT&T, was the largest stock in ever. Now, here's the thing you got to be careful about T. T, of course, is considered a great dividend stock. But why is it a great dividend stock? Well, the reason is because they are not growing. So what they do is they bribe their shareholders to keep holding the stock. And my brother used to work for AT&T, so I'm very aware of this. This is not a very good stock. I mean, if I'm primarily a growth stock investor, but this is the most indebted company in the world. And so any tick up in terms of in terms of interest rates, which are practically zero right now, and this company is going to have issues. Right now, this just isn't the place to be. I mean, it's had negative sales. All right. And this company's I think almost 130 years old. Telephone's almost 130 years old. So this just isn't really good. I mean, it's a relative strength of 4. So basically, this is underperforming the market tremendously. This is in the bottom 5% of the market. So, you just don't want to hold this one. I mean, it's true. I mean, this is the original widows and orphan stock, but the checklist is not good. It's 44. The relative strength is 4. It's just not the place to be. I just don't think you want to be in telephone. I don't think you want to be in it. If you have to buy a telephone stock, which I don't think necessarily are the best stocks because the growth rates have been so awful, I think the one you want to be in is Verizon. I think Verizon is going to do a little better for you than telephone. Unfortunately, telephone, which is based here in Dallas, is not really the place to be. So I just think you want to, and this is sort of painful to say. I think you want to basically avoid. So I think that's kind of what you got to do. You just avoid this one. The AT&T, I just don't think is a good one. Now, in terms of another stock, let's see what your other stock was. Okay. Oh, EBON. Let's look at EBON to see what happens there. EB. But unfortunately, telephone is just not the place to be. This is a Chinese Bitcoin. Wow, Bitcoin mining machines. I'm sure these are selling well because I haven't heard of this one. Yeah, I have not heard of eBang. eBang. It's kind of a cool name. eBang. But it just, I don't know. I don't know. I think that there's other fish in the sea that are much more toply rated than this one. So I think that I think you got to pass on this one. I'm sorry to be a Debbie Downer, but I seem to be Debbie Downer today. So I would pass on this one. But I think you really just have to, because it just it's a 35 relative strength. So just a pass on this one. I think that's probably your best bet. I think that's your best bet here. So, sorry about that. Let's see if we have a. Should I go for Tesla? Well, you know what? I don't think so right now. You want to wait for it to move higher. Okay. I sold off my Tesla today at 8:30. No, I'm sorry. Excuse me, at 8:20. At 8:20, and I'm waiting for it to rebound. Now, if it moves above 8:30, then I'll be a buyer again. But here's what I do right now. It's pulled back to the 21-day line, and if it reverses higher above maybe 8:30, then I think you can possibly consider it. But right now, you don't want to, because it could possibly pull back lower. Let's take a look at the Tesla chart just to check my thesis to see if I'm all wet or not. But let's go here and take a quick look at the Tesla chart. There we go. All right, so it is sort of, there's a consolidation going on here, as you can see. Yeah, it's sort of in this consolidated range. 800 is the low, and 900 is the high, basically. So the question is, where can you buy it? Well, if it moves, it looks like it's rebounding, but see it now, it's all the way down at 800. So it depends on what happens tomorrow. If it pulls lower, obviously, so you don't want to buy today. But if it pulls lower and then reverses higher, then I think you could buy it. But right now, no, I don't think you can buy it, because it's tested. It's tested this. It's tested the 21-day moving average right here. So more than likely, depending on how tomorrow shapes out, we probably will. It either will fall lower, or obviously it'll rebound. But I do think it possibly will rebound based on sort of the algorithm. So Tesla seems to be in a trading range from about 800 to about to about 900 right now. That seems to be that seems to be kind of where it's trading. So I wouldn't recommend it, at least not tomorrow. At least not tomorrow. All right. So screwed. That's interesting. Okay, so let's look at space. Now I sold out of space. What I was doing is, we had a classic climax top. This is Virgin Galactic, SPCE. The symbol here. This is a classic climax top, and I want to show it to you, and I show you how to play the climax top. And you could. This is a very profitable way to trade, by the way. And basically what it is you're looking for something, and I've done. It's funny. I've been in. I've been in this several times before earnings. The earnings are in 15 days, but as you can see, this is a climax stock. So what it does is it starts to move up, and then as typically from the buy point about 35, that's where I bought it, about 35, and then I just continuously push up my stop losses, typically, and then eventually it pulls back, and as it did today, to the 10-day line. Now, will it reverse? Possibly. It still has extremely high relative strength. But this is not a stock you want to hold for a long time. That you want to hold it into earnings and sell it, or if it pulls back, you want to basically sell it. So here's what's going on with it. Right now, today, I wouldn't be a buyer at 52 just because it's reversed. Now, if it obviously, so now you really can't buy it at this point. It's really not buyable right now. We're going to have to basically wait for earnings and see what happens. My guess is it probably will pull back. It probably will pull back after earnings. That's my guess, anyways, is how it's gonna play out. But I appreciate that. I got shaken out of it today, but again, I was pushing up my stop loss, and so I was sold out. I think about 56 or so. I have to check exactly, but that's one of the things I do is when I see this formation, this what they call climax top formation, I'm pushing up my stop losses, and then eventually when it does pull back, and they all do, then you get sold out at a good price. So, all right, okay, let's look at Jeff. This is Jeffers. This is an investment bank, and this is very strong, by the way. I'm currently not in this one, but this is a good holding, and I kind of want to show it to you right now. So appreciate the question on Jeff, because let's kind of get a look. Yeah, there we go. All right, and it's pulled up. It's moving very nicely up the up the 40-day line. So let me kind of zoom in a little bit so you can everybody can see this. There we go. All right. There we go. All right. Oops. Yeah. Okay. There are it's taking a new high, as you can see there. It moved out of this flat base at a pivot of 2430, and it's now at 27. So it's pulled up very nicely. I think that this one definitely has legs. Now, if you're buying it at this point, it's a little bit extended. Now, what do I mean by extended? I keep talking about that, and I don't make myself clear. What extended means is that a buy point is sort of the base that you start first. The ideal place to buy a stock is after a buy point, basically 10 cents above the buy point up to about 5% above the buy point. When it gets beyond that, it becomes what they call extended, and it has a tendency to pull back. So if you're buying it a little bit high, it can be dangerous because it could pull back. So right now it appears that Jeffers is extended. I'm going to look at the daily chart to see if indeed that is the case. Okay, so yeah, it definitely is. So here's what I mean by that. The buy point on this is 2430. Is this little dotted line here? And there is a buy zone, and basically it's 5%. I don't know if you can see this at home, but it's from there to about there. Okay, so this is about 5%. Oops, pull that back. There we go. Now, as you can see, it's moved above that, so it's really not buyable. It's buyable, but you've got to realize that it's very likely to pull back. So if you did buy it at this point, you could set your stop loss right where that little green line is. Okay, that's where you would set it for maximum effect. So that's what I mean by extended. Now, here's the thing about Jeffers. Right now, it's not. It's overall it's a very good stock. The relative strength, though, is a little bit low. It's set at 70, but the checklist is excellent, and the ownership has been increasing. So it's a very good stock. 44 is the sector. So here's the thing. No stock is absolutely perfect. If you're in the stock, I would stay in the stock. If you're not in the stock and you're buying it here, you've got to realize that you're buying it a little bit extended. Now, there was a short-term high here of 2706. If you did buy at this level, and you can definitely, I would set my stop loss right about where that green line is on that chart. So let me pull it back to that, so give you an exact number. So if I did buy it at this level, I would set my stop loss. Oops, there we go. Come on. There we go. I would set my stop loss right at about 25.25 is where I would set it. And that's basically right here at this green line. And that green line is the 21-day exponential average. So if you were to buy it right now, and I don't necessarily think you want to, because I think it's extended, then you want to put your stop loss at about 25.25. Currently, it's 27.75, and I do think this is a very good stock, and it has some good legs. So I really appreciate the comment on this one. And so those are my thoughts on it. Those are my thoughts on that stock. So let's take a question from Christian. Thoughts on Palantir? Lockup period expires in 3 days after 3 days after earnings. Could this trigger a sell-off? Absolutely. Thank you. This is a very insightful, Christian. Very insightful. Here's the thing. Back in the day, the big funds, they would just call these guys up. They would just, call them up and say, what's your earnings looking like. Then it got to the point where they couldn't do that. There was what they call these lockups, which was what Christian is talking about here. It basically, you had to wait until until after the earnings. Now, I do have an option on this one, so I'm going to probably hold through earnings. Here's the thing: you can't always sell before earnings, because if you do, you're going to miss out on some very big runs. But be forewarned that coming through earnings, you're very likely to see a pullback. Right now, today though, Palantir has been pulling up, and it's at 35. I currently have an option. I've sold a call on my shares on this. Actually, I've sold several calls at 39. I don't know if it'll reach that, but that gives me a little bit of extra insurance. So here's the thing. With the very good stocks, I think you got to hold through. I think Palantir is really good, but here's the thing. I would hold through, but I would absolutely set a stop loss at about 28.75. And the reason why is because that's where the 40-day line is, and it may pull back all the way to that, through the earnings. You just can't tell. But I think that's a very, very good question, and it's a good stock. I mean, I think it's being accumulated by a lot of really big time firms. Now, I want to look at a stock that I basically, it's an IPO. It's up a little bit today. Well, it's a weekly chart. It's up $14. So it's down a little bit today. It's down $7. But on the weekly chart, it's looking good. And this is a C3 AI, and it's an AI company that we'll see what happens on this one. But I do it's very volatile, but it does have a very strong relative strength at 92 for an IPO. So that's another one you might want to kind of look at. It's a little bit more expensive, of course, than a Palantir is, but I do think this is a potentially a good one. And a lot of funds are moving into this, so that's just a FYI kind of thing. So we're getting almost to the end of the hour, but let's take a look at Harris's with RVP. This is retractable technology, and this actually is a Dallas company. It's actually in Little Elm, and they have a very interesting medical company. It's been doing very, very well as of late. So let's kind of look at the chart on it here to take a look to see if we can take a look. It's still 98 relative strength. Let me kind of zoom in on this one. This was essentially this summer was one of my highly rated low price stocks. And again, I do have, by the way, for everybody, I'm going to be putting that out today on the Action Trade Alerts. So if you're on the Action Trade Alerts by tonight, I should be able to get it out to you, because I'm going to schedule it later. But you need to sign up for that to get that. And that's basically my list of about 8 stocks that have very high ratings. I did buy one of them today. It's a Canadian cannabis company that I bought. But that's something that if you're interested, you want to get on the Action Trade Alerts as well. Here's the thing with retractable. It's looking very strong at 98. It's moving nicely up the 21-day average. There's really no reason to sell this one. 77 is the checklist. The industry is not the greatest, because it's the medical supplies. It's just not as powerful an industry as some of the other ones. But 164 out of 197 sectors. But this is a profitable company, and it has significant numbers of funds that are starting to move into it. It was a relatively small cap, but it is profitable. And so there's a lot of good things to like here in this one. And one of the great things is their sales are just moving up very nicely. So um, now, where could you buy this thing? Well, right now, I don't think we're in a position where that we have an optimal buying place, buying point for this. But let's just look at the look at the monthly chart first, the weekly chart first. Oops, there we go. Okay, come on. There we go. The weekly. Oh, look at the the monthly chart first. There really isn't a good place to buy this. Again, it pushed up and then it pulled right back to the 21-day line. You could buy it if it reverses up from this level. But right now, it's not a really good place to buy it. But if you're holding this now, I would not sell this one, Harris. I think this is probably going higher. It's, no stock goes up in a straight line, but this one is looking pretty darn good. And but here's the thing: I would set a stop loss on it, and this is something that I would really be, I would really set the stop loss. Set it about 1329 or 1330. That's where the 40-day line is. As long as the stock stays above the 40-day line, I think you've got a winner because there's a nice angle of ascent here on this. But right now at 1720 to 24, if you're in it, I would set my stop loss at about 1330. So thank you very much for that. Now, if you want to take a look at get on the trade alerts, it's super easy to do. All you have to do is basically go to if you're watching on YouTube, just go to www.DallasTradingFloor and sign up. And of course, it's all free. And if you're looking on TikTok, it's super easy too. All you have to do is go to my profile, hit the link, and you'll be taken directly to a little web page that will allow you to get your information in there. I'm going to be sending out the list of the low price stocks tonight, but it won't be until later. I'll probably send it out after about 8:30 or so. So if you're on the list by then, you'll be getting it, of course, and then you'll get all the subsequent other ones. And it's all free. So that's a good way to go. Well, I have come through an hour. I'll be back tomorrow at 2:30. And till then, happy trading.